All right, back to the question. Now,
I taught a marketing team everything that I have learned over the last 10 years. Plus, I got to go to Venice Beach. I was on the West Coast. The sunsets were absolutely gorgeous, and I got to see my family. So it was a dope experience. It was dope. Like John said earlier, I've been bouncing around the last month with like my content. I'm going to do fitness. I'm going to do training. Am I going to do goofy shit? Am I going to do sponsorships?
yeah.
This experience truly showed me what I am most comfortable doing and what I know best. I've been on social media. I've been teaching. I've been working on the back ends of YouTube, Meta, Facebook, Uvu, Kick. When Instagram came out in 2011 in beta mode, I've been on social media for years. But personal training, I did for 2 years. And fitness I've been doing for 5 years.
Yep.
But there's a lot more that I could learn. There's a lot more prehab that I could learn. There's a lot more in terms of mobility that I could learn. I could retake my nutrition. I want to go to school for psychology. So when it comes to doing the training, I want to educate myself more before I teach you guys everything because I want to be holistic. But when it comes to knowing the internet and how it works, I holistically have a very good internal understanding of how it works. So that's how we came to... I'm going to be teaching you guys this because I know everything about it, and I'm going to continue to learn about it.
Hell yeah.
That's how we came to this crossroad. So,
Well, like you said, it's really hard in social media on any platform to just pick a niche and stick with it. A lot of people
have a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, they have a lot of ideas, and especially when it's your first page. Like, I'm so proud of you for keeping the one page versus, let's just delete it and restart, delete it and restart. There's so many people on pages and stuff like that they've wasted so many times of starting and restarting, and it's just like pick a niche. And of course you bounced around, but now that you found I want to say you almost merged 4 of your niches just because you found the experience in all of them.
I'd say I've pivoted. People bounce around. Like, they do cars, they do fitness, they'll do a bunch of shit. I've pivoted because fitness is always going to be the epicenter. Like I was talking to my brothers and sisters earlier. Fitness plays a role in absolutely everything. It plays a role in your mental, for business, and, being able to articulate things properly. It's going to play a role when you're 50 years old, and can you go in the backyard and play with your son and play football? Fitness is going to play into when you walk in a room. Are they going to respect you or not,
Yeah.
Fitness is everything, but that goes into psychology and, your mental awareness. That goes into how you appear on camera and marketing. That goes into how you feel and wake up every day. Your ability to do things, even if you're a millionaire and you get the money, right? When you go on vacation, if you're fat and lazy and horrible, you're not going to be able to go hang gliding and jet skiing. You're not going to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So fitness is the center, but I've educated myself in different areas that I would like to educate other people in if they're willing to listen and learn. So
Jay's physique does it really well at, hey, I improved at this, let's get this back up to this level, and then just keep raising the bars and then pivot back to it, like he was saying, instead of getting 1% better. And that's the key. Like, he finds a weakness and he's like, I think I suck at this, let me get good at it,
No, literally.
So
it's the I suck at this and let me not continue to suck part.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
And then especially when people realize that you suck at something, so it's like, it's cool if you're like in the room by yourself and you're like, this
could be better.
This sucks. It could be better, But then once people, like you said, because social media, you're a content creator, your life is out there. They know that where you're at.
Parts of it.
You know what I mean?
Parts of it. Privacy is very big. We talk about that in the course.
100%. But it's like social media, like most of your stuff is put out there for work-wise, you know what I mean?
Public consumption.
Exactly. So your public consumption is... it could have been better, but millions of people kind of see that it could have been better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of criticism to begin with.
Exactly. So pivoting is...
being able to pivot, but
and
have
work
a
on your
core.
weakness. Yeah.
Like a core audience, because, there's certain influencers that have, cars, but they show their lifestyle, they show, their kids, their dogs, their
money,
food.
everything.
You can show multiple things, but you need to hyper-focus on something until you're known for it, and then you can pivot. You can't just start bouncing around, otherwise nobody's going to know what you're talking about, nobody's going to know what you specialize in.
Exactly.
They're not going to know what you're good at. So when it comes to building your brand, stick with one page, unless you've done spam accounts and spam DMs and all that shit. Stick with one. Exactly. He stuck with one. It's revivable. My buddy David, he had a YouTube channel. We've had YouTube channels since 2012. You can see it on the page.
Yep.
People
and it's
think
revivable, like you said. It's revivable. It's able to be critiqued, but back to the same niche, back to the core piece, which his
No, it was a gaming channel at first.
Exactly.
And he made it a tech and information channel. YouTube is different from Instagram.
100%.
You can't really do that with Instagram.
Yeah, with Instagram, if you switch it niche or pivot to a whole different creator,
having a big audience
you're
can hurt that.
You're gonna probably lose half of your thing.
Oh, I lost about 15,000 followers when I changed to mental health and wellness out of quotes and shit. But I also had to remove like 5,000 because Instagram now gave you. Did you see in your followers? If you go to the follower section, you can actually remove bot accounts. Like it will tell you which ones are bots, and you can remove them. And if you do that, it'll make your views go up because you won't have spam accounts listed.
Oh,
super helpful.
So it also helps your
engagement,
and it also helps your like insights, and it helps
Yes.
you know which videos are actually being watched versus bots accounts that are dragging your views down.
That spam, dead accounts, ghost accounts, it's a really good tool that Instagram internally added. Before, you had to go download some third-party app, and Instagram would dock you, they'd blacklist you. If you involve third-party apps, they would always do that.
100%.
So the fact that they actually added that within the internal platform, and it's like native to the platform, is super dope. And if you're watching this, you should take advantage of that ASAP. You're going to lose followers. You will.
100%.
I lost almost 15,000 followers at this point. But it's for the betterment of my account. I know that there's quality people, and the people that are there to watch me are there to watch me. I don't care about the followers. I care
Speaking
about
about losing followers, we'll say that when my account was thriving, I was at 13.5. I think I'm down to 12.9 now, which is around
lost a little bit.
6K, you know what I mean? But I like to say when you're climbing the mountain, sometimes you slip, but it's never that you're not getting better. It's just you slipped. You're still as good as you. Exactly. I'm still as good as I was when I was up here. I'm just a little further away. You know what I mean? I'm able to get back to where that point is,
No, literally. And that's all to say. Like when it comes to your focus, find the right things to focus on, watch different videos, continue to educate yourself, learn what's important, what's not. But the biggest thing that is really attached to everything in any niche, it doesn't matter what niche you are in, the more value that you bring to your space and your audience, the more you will receive in return. You will receive more views, you will receive more money, you will receive more sponsorships if you bring value. If you focus on just followers and views, there are tons of ways to get that. I have a virality agency. I could get you millions of views. That doesn't mean it's going to get you anything in return.
Well, that doesn't mean that brands would like to work with you, which is coming up to our next question, which is talk about 3 things you should focus on before approaching brands. Well, 3 things you should probably focus on is, are your views consistent? I would say, do you have products that can be implemented into your views, right? Or into your videos?
If it aligns with your audience.
If it aligns with your audience. That's that's a better way to put it. And what would the third thing be? What would you say the third thing would be before you should approach a brand?
I would say make sure that your culture aligns as well. Like, the 3 big things is so that's what you should do before approaching a brand. Mm-hmm. Now, when you get to, and this is a big thing that I say to everybody, when it comes to being an influencer, or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, email brands. First of all, don't DM them. You can DM them, but I would recommend emailing them for 3 reasons. 1, these are older guys. They're more professional. They're using their emails. Anybody 100%. Older making money or spending money is using their email. 2, it shows that you invested time going through their social media
to find
the email. And 3, it gives you a much more professional look. Now, once you're in the email, what you should do next is make sure that, you make it pretty formal, honestly. Don't just write some sloppy email with horrible grammar, Make sure it's like, good afternoon or good morning.
They make apps that help you for emails.
You can hook
use
it up.
AI, use something. Even if you're not the greatest at emails, and no one's the best at... Exactly.
I mean, obviously edit it afterwards as well. Don't
100%,
just ChatGPT fucking emails and send them out. Like, make it personal. Watch their content. Make sure that you're in their comments, commenting, supporting their product. Don't just go to random brands and be like, I have this many followers. You should, follow me.
Yeah, so if you're doing that, I don't think too many brands are going to latch on. And honestly, like, you have gym subs. I mean, they're a brand that you're loyal to them and they're loyal to you. It's actually kind of like you build a relationship. So most of your brands, you got to look at from a far view, I would say, from a third party kind of, from a very far view of like, hey, is that really someone I want to associate myself with? Because there's a lot of people in life that you don't want to be caught hanging around, and it's the same way with your brands. Right people. Yeah,
like that's why I left Raw Gear in the first place. Like, I've worked with Raw Gear, Gymshark. I've worked with Raw Supplements. That's C-Bum's brand. I've worked with Gym Supplements, First Form, Alpha Lion, and I left certain brands because of the way they handled business, because of the way they handled influencers, because of the way that they operated.
Yep.
I love Gym Subs because of the way they operate. They're very forefront. I mean, Jim Stefani went to fucking Harvard. He was a scientist there. He was a scientist, chemist in the military for 10 years. I like that. It makes me feel more confident in the product personally.
Yeah.
But find something you like. But, when it comes to working with brands, make sure it aligns with you, but also do your research. Don't just be with them for the name, because the name is going to mean nothing eventually.
100%. And also don't do it just for the money, because you could be screwing yourself with losing audience and losing...
Yeah, most people don't know who I'm sponsored by.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's not in my bios or anything. I just recommend it to people, or it's, like, sometimes linked in videos. Like, I'll probably start updating links. But, I mean, not getting too off topic with the how to approach them. But once you get to the email stage with people, like you said, use things to write emails if you're not that savvy with copy. But one thing you need to do if you're doing social media at all
is get savvy with it.
Copy is words. Like, that's copywriters. That means words on the screen.
Yeah.
Get good with your words. You need to know how to use words for writing captions, for writing emails, for writing scripts. Just fucking get good with your words.
I want to say on top of that, the brands, they're going to be the first ones. They get millions of these emails every day, probably. Right?
Some. Probably your favorite brand does.
100%. If it's named like a name brand, like that you're like, oh, I would love to be sponsored by them. Well, just know that they get millions of emails and they're able to call bullshit. They're able to look at them and say, I know he just got this from this, or he could have took a little more time in wording this. So they're gonna call bullshit. So be sure that you're putting forth your best effort, and you're putting
genuine intent.
Exactly. And you're putting forth what you want to grow and show, and basically putting forth your culture in an email.
You 100% should. And that's like the second part of it. Like, I made sure that I had like detailed answers for you guys. It's not written down, but I have it up here. The second part to the, get good at your copy and text. Like, he's gotten really savvy with the creativity and, using enticing hooks and stuff. That's how you get views.
Yeah.
The second part is if you want them to read the email, start with a greeting, compliment them, and then why should they work with you? Give value. Say, how could you help? How could you improve the videos? What videos have you seen that you could make better? Start with value. See how you can help them. See how they can help you. And then end the email off with, I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to working with you. Be intentful. Like, be very, very intentional with what you're saying.
You're not trying.
Be very kind as well. Like,
you're not trying to critique the brand or anything or change it. Like you're not coming
show how
to
you
a
can
brand
add to the team.
Yeah, it's more of, hey, I feel you're missing this, and I feel like I have an audience that is looking for this, and I think they would collab.
No, that is literally the perfect way to put it. And from there, you can DM. Or if you want, you can go to the brand manager, find out who the brand manager is, and DM and email them if you don't get a response within a week. Don't be spammy as fuck, but, just be like, hey. And if you do write a follow-up email, give it a week or two and be like, hey, just wanted to bump this up in your email. I am very, very, I would, what's the word I'm looking for?
Very enthused or very anxious to work with?
No, don't say anxious. If you want to work with them, I would highly recommend just going to them being like, hey, I'm very intentful of working with you guys. I can't think of the word right now. There's a much better word than intentful, but be like, I really want to work with you guys. I feel as though I can really add to the team. I love your guys' brand. I love the message, and I feel like we could really work well together. And I just wanted to bump this up and see if you guys could give me a solid yes or no answer. Leave it at that. Do it at 1 or 2 weeks apart, but don't be super spammy and don't be super desperate either. You don't want to do that shit.
100%.
Which, we got to get you working with a brand. What brand you want to work with?
I don't know, man. We'll have to reach out. There's a couple that I've been eyeing. But like you said, I'm waiting.
Eyeballs.
I'm waiting for a culture that I feel like speaks to my culture and my audience that I can guide right in and kind of flow easily. I'm also not one to take risk. I also don't... Podcast?
Car guys.
car guys, I do work on cars a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I could just tell them, yeah, let me take your engine out.
My guy said, I'm going to set the supplements on the hood of the car while I work on the car, and that's going to be the video, which it certainly could be.
It could be, yeah.
Neurotropics with this hydration drink so that your forearms don't cramp while you turn that wrench. That's basically going to be you, dog. But, I mean, that's low-key a spin right there.
Yeah.
But question number 2 that you guys had for me, 3 ways that you can monetize your audience, and these truly aren't, 3 ways that you guys can monetize your audience, and let's go over them. The first one, through affiliate work, the most boring, and just don't do this. It's cool, but I highly avoid it. Like, if you're companies need affiliates, don't get me wrong. If you're okay with just being an affiliate with a code, that's cool. They will probably tell you to buy the product and then say, use my code. But you don't want to do that. You guys want to be sponsored, first of all.
100%.
You want to be either an athlete or you want to be sponsored.
On payroll. Not a commission base where it's like, oh, your audience paid enough with your code, here's money.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be the guy that maybe gets in, and maybe starting with affiliate is not terrible, but you need to know that the brand or the monetization is
worth it.
Is going to be there later on.
But it's also just not guaranteed. Like, you also don't want to be known for just shoving the code down their throat, especially if you haven't cultivated your audience properly. Like, this podcast is really for micro influencers. This is, if you have millions of subscribers, you don't need to be watching this, but if you are, I love you, so thank you. But like affiliate work, you're going to be dependent on the code. You're going to be dependent on that code for money. You don't want that to be the case. It's going to seem super salesy, but also you want to just, like, sponsorships, I would say, are better simply because of the fact that you're going to receive the products. You can use the products. You can genuinely get to know the products, especially if you don't have the money.
Give an actual review that you know what I mean?
You don't have to say something to get money. You can just give a genuine review, and you can be genuine about it and be like, hey, I really like this clothing, but I feel as though a double stitch would be better and it would hold these leggings together or something like that rather than a single stitch. But other than that, I like the material. You can be honest about it, but critique it. 100%. And if they're going to kick you off for that, then fuck it. You don't need to be with that brand. You don't need to
be working with them, yeah.
Yeah, if they're going to sit there and tell you to lie, that's an absolute red flag that you don't need to be working with them. You don't want to have to lie to your audience to make money. Nope. So that's one reason
especially why affiliate working is dangerous. Yeah, like you said, it's dangerous only because you don't want to have to shove something down someone's throat just to get the freaking money into your pocket. And it's more so if maybe the code's not too bad if you believe in the brand. I would say, like Gym Subs, like with you, like you have a code, but you're not. I don't push preaching it. You know what I mean?
I should, and I'm going to. I love you guys, but I just, now that I'm getting back in the rhythm, I'm about to do that. But 100%. Before, I was just like, nah.
100%. I also think we sat down at a coffee shop and I talked about it. I said, you truly believe in Gym Subs. Like, every time I ask you about supplements and what I should be taking and how I should be taking it and when I should be taking it, it's like, oh, I take this, 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 and this. And it's not because, like, you take other stuff too, but it's because you...
Like, OILY is a really good multivitamin.
Exactly. But it's still... It's not shitting on the supplement that you're taking now, but it's you saying, oh, I truly believe in this brand. I truly believe that it actually helps me out. And also with your, your
I mean, this is also based on...
basically, but...
Yeah, not all supplement companies have that.
Yeah.
But also, you guys got to remember that supplements should be based on what your body requires, not what some fucking influencer said.
Yeah, what is your body like lacking, and what area could you improve in?
Yeah, read the supplement label. See how many decimals of vitamin D, vitamin A do you need? How much protein extra do you need? Mm-hmm. There's a certain pre-made protein by Orgain. I don't drink it anymore. I drink it by another company because it has 40 grams of vegan protein, and it's much easier for me to drink it one time in the same container than 20 grams.
Well, say this. Your busy's very scheduled, too. The supplement company you go for may be just because, oh, I can take this one time a day versus, oh, you have to take it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking it 3 times a day, it's not working. So it's supplement.
Be calculated.
It can be calculated into your schedule. So it's, or you switch up supplements every month because it's like, oh, I'm going to be out of town more this month, and it's like, hey, I'm going to need something smaller brand, you know what I mean? So switching it up is not terrible.
No, you just want to be very honest with yourself and honest with the company you work with. But Not to get too off a topic, because I could talk about supplements all day, baby. We can get into that in another episode. If you guys comment, you want to hear about supplements and how you should be taking them and how you should be implementing them, let me know below. But the second part of how to get monetized or how to monetize your audience as a micro-influencer would be, you can rely on the algorithm if you want to be a bitch. I'm sorry to say, but like, let me explain. And not to be too vulgar, but relying on the algorithm can be dangerous because the algorithm's not always consistent. The algorithm of winter versus summer is extremely different. Very, very different. And
you can also tell the time periods of when people are on their phone. Yeah.
When people are online.
On their phone, or when people are watching, and when they're shopping for things, and they...
Around Christmas, people are going to be buying more. During the summer, people are going to be traveling more, not spending money on you unless you're a travel influencer with a code for some fucking website or Amex or some shit. So
that's fair.
By relying on the algorithm, what I mean is the partnership programs of these applications. YouTube has AdSense, TikTok has the partnership program for the TikTok creator program, and Instagram has the meta program. And you can rely on these, but your views may not be consistent. You may get banned. You might get shadow banned. They might stop paying you.
Like you said, beginning. Like, that's not something to rely on.
No.
It's cool. It's more so like when you first got started, you kept telling me like, oh, I made $30. Oh, I made $40.
Right.
And then some months it was, oh, I made $1,000. Oh, I made
it's too
200.
inconsistent.
Like it's inconsistent for you to basically say, oh, I'm going to quit my 9-to-5, or oh, I'm going to quit this and just pour all into it for the algorithm.
Yeah. You just
not
can't
right, you know
do
what I mean?
that. It's not sustainable if you want to do this like full time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching this far in, I would assume that you want to do this full time. And so we're not going to touch on that too much, but just the inconsistencies, it's not very reliable, and the algorithms they're just algorithms. But the third way to monetize your audience as a micro-influencer is to make your own product or service. And by doing this,
which is the best.
It is the best.
It is the best.
It's something that I've been slacking on for the longest because I was always helping people build their dreams, and I always ignored mine, which was obnoxious, which is why I'm very, very happy to be here with you guys.
And start making the dreams happen.
Yeah, we have the community going. We have the Discord going.
I think we have a service going now, and then we need to get a product. When we're going to start pushing product. We're going to keep pushing product.
Get 1% Better will drop as soon as there's 1,000 people in that Discord.
I think we should start doing merch. I would love to do merch.
I already have all the merch designed, and it's already sitting in the factory, bro.
Hell yes.
Like, there's already Get 1% Better merch, you guys. I promise you it's coming, but you guys, I need to be able to give you guys value first before I start asking you for your fucking money. But if you guys want it, let me know.
When did you get it in the warehouse? Because like we didn't tell this over.
2 months ago.
This motherfucker.
I that's why we have the apps certified on the Apple Store. I already submitted the patent for it, and it's already in the Google Play Store for aesthetic.
Was this while I was gone training?
Yeah.
Oh.
I told you, I've been going balls to the walls. If you guys didn't know, the reason I disappeared was to go do government contracting for the U.S. federal government.
And that shit
fell through. Got fucked over. Lost a fuck ton of money. Over 20 figures. It sucked. Or over 20 grand. My bad. It sucked, but it is what it is. Gives me an opportunity to focus on you guys, which I wish I never stopped doing. That's the upside, but I could look at it as a negative and cry and whine about it and say, "Oh, I lost all this money."
Why do I hear like those like sad sorrow TikToks in my head right now while you're saying I just lost 20K?
So sad. I mean, I could sit there and do that, but I could also sit here and help another 20,000 of you save your life.
And honestly, if you didn't get fucked over, you would have been preaching, oh, government contracting is the best way to go. And then you realize this sour point on what it could have been. You know what I mean?
Government contracting is a much older thing that I think I'll do once I'm like 25, which I'm not, by the way, for all of you that think I'm fucking 30 for some ungodly reason.
Definitely not.
For all of you that think I'm like 30, I'm going to need you to
15.
piss off.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, good Lord, have mercy. But, the create your own product or service. But remember, we talk about this in 10K 90 Day. You need to cultivate your audience. You need to have a relationship with them and give as much value as possible before you try to sell people on your product.
You also have to believe in your product and believe it like really actually works. There's multiple times that you could feel insecure about your product and it comes across as, oh yeah, this is definitely not going to work. He doesn't believe in his product.
I don't, bro. Like, I can literally sit here. Like, I'm tired right now drinking a fucking coffee because I was up at 2 a.m. I've been up at 2 a.m. on a regular basis.
For sure. Working with...
I can't fall asleep because I'm thinking of new things to add to the product, the group. I'm like, if I can't fall asleep at night, literally what I have to do is pull out my phone or a journal or something and write down the ideas. Otherwise, it just keeps going and going in my head.
100%.
You need to be like that with your product. And the biggest thing that I heard from, he's one of the Shark Tank guys, and Alex Hormozy, they were on a podcast, and they said, if you don't keep the buyer up at night thinking about your product, it wasn't good enough.
100%.
And I'm up at night thinking about my product because I'm fucking excited for the results of it. So
in this community, you really need to basically go to sleep every night thinking, God, I'm getting 1% better tomorrow. I'm going to get one. And that keeps you up all night. It's like, I'm getting 1% better. But to get 1% better, I do say you need your sleep.
No, literally, you do.
Sleep is health. You need to get some sleep. And
sleep is extremely
I'm telling you
important.
to get some sleep.
I will get some sleep tonight, most likely. But this podcast is also getting posted tonight.
Hey.
It's getting posted tonight.
And we got to add in on the website, like you said. We're going to add in on everything else, probably. But we'll do that tomorrow.
But let's talk about why 3 different types of content are completely necessary to build an audience.
That is 100% true, because it's not just an audience, because you have your viral, you have your trending, you have your I found you by this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to like word it, but that's the best way to word it, right? Like, I was just scrolling and it was funny and it blew up and I found your content. You know what I mean?
There are multiple different kinds of content, and
which is visual. And then like you could, and then the next one would be like, cultivating, which is like people that actually relate to your culture.
The people that revisit your page, basically.
Exactly. Keep revisiting, and it's like checking in on you, and it's like actually, I wouldn't say they're like soaking in your information, but they're just checking in on it.
You really want to get people interested in your content eventually. Mm-hmm. They might not be initially, but once you get them to click follow, now what you want to do is cultivate them, because you have what I call velocity content, which is your viral content.
Yeah.
This is where people find you. It's like, oh shit, I like this guy, or he looks good, or that was an interesting tip.
Yeah. Trendy videos. You have to do.
Next is cultivation, though. You have to do trendy.
You have to do trendy. You're not gonna.
You can't do one for multiple reasons. The first reason is because if you do one type of content, once that content stops working, you're fucked.
Yep.
So having 3 types gives you 3 chances to hit 3 different algorithms. It gives you 3 different types of content to let all 3 fail before you run out of views. And these are all just necessary for a funnel, a functional funnel. This is how marketing works. You
100%.
need to have 3 types.
And if you, on top of that, like, when you're doing the trendy videos, if you just post trendy videos, you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to look at your insights, because if it doesn't pop off, then you're going to be like, oh, what the heck? What happened? It's a trend, But
I think
you're not able to look at the inside and be like, oh, these people actually like this video. No, they like the video because it's a trend, because it's viral now, and it's not going to be evergreen.
You want
can just keep going back
content.
To evergreen content is the best content.
And honestly, evergreen content is a great example of cultivating content, only because cultivating content should be either educational, it should be tips, it should be valuable. And it should be valuable this won't always work, because marketing advice, by the way.
Yeah.
The marketing that I'm talking about is not going to be, it's not going to die, it's not going to fall out. But there are certain algorithm tips that will change. So that's not considered evergreen content. But if you tell somebody that they need to do something consistently, or if you tell somebody that they need to have a schedule, that will forever be evergreen advice that should be taken and used forever. Yeah. So you need to have a kind of content that can be taken and used forever. And search, like my fucking Minecraft videos from 10 years ago are still getting views. Sorry, but they are. And it's actually kind of crazy.
But
that's evergreen content.
Yes, exactly. But to put it in a spin and another perspective, if Minecraft was just a trend, those videos would not be getting no views. That you wouldn't.
There are plenty of my videos that get 0 views
because Minecraft has became it's a culture, or it's able to be cultivated. You know what I mean? With a lot of a big audience and young audience too, that just keeps building.
Jesus,
you know what I'm saying?
That shit is crazy.
So then it keeps adding on to the views.
But
so that's how you want to basically create a product. like we were talking about before. Create a product that builds, you know what I mean? That it's going to last.
Well, that's why cultivating content is the second type, and then organic introduction of sales, otherwise known as your introduction. That's the third type of content that you want to do. Don't make it sound salesy, but that's the technical term for it.
Organic is the key word.
Sit there and talk to the microphone. Say what you do. Don't even say that you sell it. Just say what you do. Say what you specialize in. Give advice. Give life stories that you've learned that you want other people to know. That's part of what you sell. Take pieces of what you sell and give it away for free. But don't teach people for free. But if you're starting off, you're going to have to do it for free because no matter who the fuck you are. So get like 5 people for free, teach them, get testimonials, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. If you want to learn about that, we go over that in the course as well. But organic introduction of sales is organically introducing what you do and what you offer.
Exactly.
And that is the 3-step formula. Viral views, collect new people. This is the most views you'll ever get.
I'm a given product of your sales, of your organic introduction to sales. Basically, you didn't come to me and say, "Hey, for $11,000,
I'll show you how to do this."
Exactly. Or you didn't give me a price point on what I should have met. You just came to me and said, "Hey, you have the drive and the initiative, and you think you got an extra little bit of free time when you get home or after work and everything. Why aren't you doing social media?" And you you basically led me down the rabbit hole to where I locked myself in, which is just the guidance.
I want team players who not only how should I put this? I want team players who are driven, but I want team players who are consistently trying to learn, as well as they're consistently trying to get better.
100%.
But the thing about John...
That's why the podcast is called 1% Better. If you're not getting 1% better, we're not going to... I don't want to say give you the time of the day, but there's no point in investing in something that's not going to get 1% better.
Yeah. So and one big thing I'll say, though...
Think about interest.
Interest?
Think about interest, like for sales or with anything, right? You want something that's going to build investment.
Continuously.
Yes. So if we invest in you and you're getting 1% better each day, then imagine that. And at the end of the week, you're 7% better.
That's a lot, dog. In 3 months, you're 90% better.
100% better.
In 3 months and 10 days.
100% better.
Why the fuck would I not want somebody to get to 100% better in 1 quarter of the year?
Exactly.
By the end of the year, you're 400% better.
Exactly.
So that's why we live.
So we're gonna invest into you,
better.
100%. So we're here to invest into y'all.
And if we can't invest in you, I would still like to teach you guys what I know, and if you're willing to accept it, I hope that you get 1% better.
And if
you fall backwards and you lose 5% because you're drinking and being stupid, I hope that you can take a big leap and get another 10% back, or whatever the case may be.
100%. And honestly, I would say if you lose 5% by drinking and smoking or whatever you're fucking off on, and you eliminate those, you immediately the next day, if you can eliminate them consistently,
go to the gym, read a book, eat healthy food. And you drink water, get good sleep. That's 5.
That's 5
good
there.
Things right there.
That's 5% already ahead of the game.
You just destroyed your negative 5%.
Exactly. It's never too late to jump the gun and pull the trigger. Developing can become you can develop very fast. And over a year, we've only known each other 2 years almost. 2 years. And the audience,
we bounce off of each other. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The audience that we have built and the community that we're trying to put together and the product that we're putting together is going to astronomically change.
It's going to change the whole influencer market.
Exactly.
We've already touched millions of people's lives. Like, I can confidently say I have touched, changed, and saved millions of lives.
100%.
And like, I always tell this story. I love telling this story. I told this story literally today. I met this super cool guy at the gym. And this is also where Get 1% Better is implemented. Like, Get 1% Better isn't just you.
That's wild.
When you talk to somebody, when you talk to somebody, you should make their day better.
100%.
When you leave an establishment, you should make somebody smile, make their day better. You should make a place better, make an item better, make whatever you touch better. 1% Better does not just apply to me. But I was talking to this guy at the gym, super cool guy. We were talking about it. I love telling the story about how, FaZe Clan, if you guys know who that is, I was a part of it. I started watching them for various reasons that I'm not going to go into in this podcast because it's super sad and depressing and stupid. But I watched them. They changed my life. I read their comments. There were so many comments of kids saying I was suicidal.
They also had a lot go on recently, haven't they?
Yeah. No. Well, Norden is literally depressed as fuck. Like, he masked it for years. But he changed so many kids' lives that said they wanted to end their life. They came home and watched them, made them smile and made them laugh. Those kids have lived on. I was one of those kids, and I've had the opportunity to rake in over 500 billion views and have thousands of you in my DMs telling me how you're going to the gym, you feel inspired by my content, you started your own business. My life was changed by one person. I've changed multiple lives, and I'm just one person, and you guys are going to do the same thing. So this 1%
100%.
better that I go by is not just about me. It's about the world. It is a holistic view, and
100%.
if you just live by that, you will feel so much more fulfilled, but you will literally make the world a better place. And once you realize that making the world is a better place rather than yourself,
and it's
just exponential from
It's
there.
easier now than it was 15, 20 years ago when the social media isn't as popping as it is now. And now it is.
Dude. There was barely the iPhone 4.
100%.
Or the iPod, sorry.
And exactly, that's what I was trying to say, is that now it's more than easier than ever. So why are you not doing it? If I can... Used to, back in the day, I guess you would say, you would go by and try to like give people compliments and boost their ego that way. And you could only do it effectively 3 people, 4 people, 5 people a day. Now you can do it millions.
Bing, 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 bing.
Millions. And over a night is wild. You can touch millions of people in over a night. So back to basically the topic that we had you needed 3 types of content.
And we went over those.
Basically, to break it down in a simpler way, everyone has different emotions. Everyone's going through something differently. So you can't just base your content. Let's just give it kind of a basic scenario. If all of your content is sad shit, nobody fucking happy wants to see that.
I mean...
So, that's the biggest, simplest way to put it. If you're going to make content, it needs to bounce around just a little bit on your emotions.
Diversify yourself.
And also, sad shit at night, happy shit in the morning.
No, literally, that's literally what I put him on, and
it works.
I did RGB coloring. I told him post bright clips in the morning, dark clips at night. Nobody wants their fucking face to get blasted at 10 at night. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
But
this is psychological shit that you need to understand.
There's some people that like to get their face blasted at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, my girl. But that's not the point. But yeah, these are just a few of the things and a few of the questions that we wanted to answer. I feel as though this has been a very fulfilling and informational cast so far. We could go on, but I want to save some questions for the Q&A with the rest of the boys, as well as more podcasts. If you guys do have any questions for us in the future, drop them below.
Drop them in the comments.
Do you have anything else that you want to discuss while we're here? There's tons of questions, but I'm going to cut off the questions for now because we're getting close to an hour, and I want you guys to be able to stay engaged, take notes, and not bore you guys too long, because the end of the podcast gets really juicy. I'd rather save more juice for the beginning of the next rather than keep
Without
it going.
a doubt.
So, do you have any more questions for me?
I want to say that wraps things up. I think it was a fulfilled 1% better. I think we got 1% better here today, and I hope y'all guys did too.
Absolutely.
Or took notes on how to get 1% better the next day. Maybe
you didn't,
write all this shit down. Exactly. Back it up.
Back it up. Watch it again. Put it in 2x if you need to. Send it to a friend that might benefit from this. Send it to a friend who wants to become a micro-influencer.
And if y'all know anybody that is honestly looking into content, or you see that they have the potential to get into content, send them our video, man. There's so many people out there that are good with the camera and don't even know how to pick it up and get started with it. So let's get them on the journey. That's honestly how I got into it. He came to me and said, "Hey, you didn't
hold this." Hold this camera and point it at me. You see that angle right there? Get that muscle right there.
Honestly, that's honestly what happened, because we were like, oh, you go to the gym? I go to the gym? And I was like, hey, what the hell are you bringing a camera into the gym for? And he's like, big booty bit. No, okay.
Whoa. That's the sad part, is I actually have never approached a woman in the gym.
That's fair. That's fair. No, that's not the sad point. That's you getting 1% better, holding your manhood together.
That's actually facts. I'm going to leave you guys with this. The gym is a temple, but also it's creepy as fuck.
Who wants to ruin
this? Don't approach women in the gym. They don't like it. But if you really feel as though that this is your moment to go after that woman, Do it in a very showmanship, not creepy, respectful way.
100%.
Over time. Do
100%.
it over time. Do not be like, you're sexy, let me get your number. Don't make it superficial. Just don't be a creep in the gym. I don't approach women in the gym. It's fucking annoying.
I would say this. There's probably like 3 places you don't approach
unless she's
women.
eye fucking you.
Nope.
I'm being serious. Like, if she's looking at you and she's giving the I want to talk to you rise, then I'm sorry. But if the girl's like looking at the ground,
but
don't do it.
Exactly.
They make it very clear when it's okay to talk.
You probably shouldn't like interfere because
we're not even gonna get into this.
Why?
Because we're gonna put this as a topic: how to approach girls in the gym.
Whoa.
Anyways, you guys.
Whoa.
Remember to get 1% better every single day, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.